Hello, grade 3. How are you today? I hope you are doing well. Our lesson today is problem solving investigation, page number 113 in your math book. Let's start it. Through this lesson, we're gonna learn the strategy to solve problems. Let's start with the first example in your book. Here we have this table that shows us important information about Wallace's family. Here we have how many miles Wallace's dad traveled this year. And here we have how many miles Wallace traveled this year. And here we have how many miles Wallace's brother traveled this year. Okay? So now the first step to solve any question in the word is what? Is to understand the question, because if you understand the question, then you can get the correct final answer. Okay, so let's understand the question again. We have these informations about Wallace's family. We have three numbers. The first one for how many Wallace's dad traveled this year. The second one for how many Wallace traveled this year. And the last one is how many Wallace's brother traveled this year. Okay, and the question is now, is it reasonable to say that Wallace's family has traveled about 2,200 miles this year? How can we solve this question? We have to ask ourselves two questions. The first one is, what facts do you know from the question? I think you will say that I know Wallace's family has traveled three here 398 miles and 737 miles and 1106 miles. Okay, and the next question is, what do you need to we can find this from the question of the problem. Is it reasonable to say that Wallace's family has traveled about 2200 miles in miles this year? Okay, so I need to find if the family traveled about this number, which is 2,200 miles. Okay, the next step now is to plan. How will we solve this problem? Now we understand it. We understand what the information we have, and we know what we have to find. Okay, now how will we find the answer? So we have to plan how to find the answer. I will estimate the sum because the question is asked about reasonableness. So we have to estimate the sum, not to get the exact sum. Then I will compare the estimates. The estimate I get and the estimate the question tell me. Okay. The last step is to solve now, the third step is to solve. Okay, we said that we will estimate the sum. We have three numbers, so we will estimate these three numbers or round them. Since the greatest place value for these numbers is 100, so we will round all of these addends to the nearest 100. Okay, so this number or this addend will be rounded to 1100, and the second one to it will be rounded to 700, and the last one it will be rounded to 400. Then will we find the sum? So 0 plus 0 plus 0 it's equal, I think you said 0, right? And 0 plus 0 plus 0, it's also 0. And hundreds, 4 plus 7 plus 1, it's equal 12. So now we have to regroup, right? So we will write 2 and 1 4,000. So the final answer is 2,200. So the estimated sum of 2,200 miles is the same as the estimate in the problem. Okay, here it is. The question tell that the estimate is 2,200 and we get the same number. So the answer is reasonable, right? Okay, good. Now we have to check if our answer is right or correct, or it makes sense or not. Does your answer make sense? Explain. Okay. How can we say that yes or no? We should get the exact answer to compare it with the estimation, right? So we will find the sum of these three numbers and we will get the exact answer 2,241. and we will compare it with the estimation we get, right? They are very close. Can you see that? 2,200. If you round this number to the nearest hundred, you will get 2,200. So our answer makes sense, right? Good. Let's see the next example. Here we have another problem. Anson swam 28 laps last week and 24 laps this week. He says he needs to swim the same number of laps each week for 2 more weeks to swim a total of about 100 laps. So again, Anson swam 28 laps last week, okay? 28 laps last week and 24 laps this week, okay? He says he needs to swim the same number of laps each week for 2 more weeks to swim a total of about 100 laps. So the question now is this a reasonable estimate? Explain. We would like to know if this estimation, which is 100 laps, is reasonable or not. As before, we should understand the question. We talked about the question and we explain what the information we know. Again, what facts do you know? I know that 1 week Anson swam 28 laps, right? This is for the last week or the first last week, and 24 laps for another week, okay? I know he wants to swim about 100 laps. He would like to swim about 100 laps. Now, what do you need to find? The question is what? We need to find if it's reasonable to say he could swim a total of about 100 laps by the end of 2 more weeks. This is the question. Now we should plan how will we solve this question. Since the question is about reasonableness, we should think about estimation, right? We have two numbers to estimate, to round them, right? So we will round each addend. Then we will add the rounded addends 2 times y, because we have the 2 next weeks, right? To see if it is about 100 laps. The third step is to solve. The estimation of 28 plus 24 is 30 plus 20, and the sum is 50. This is for the first 2 weeks. And to find the total, we should add 50 to 50. This 50 for the first 2 weeks and this 50 for the next 2 weeks, and the sum is 100 laps, which is the same as the estimation in the problem, right? Now, the last step is to check. Does your answer make sense? Explain. How can we explain if our answer is make sense or not? We should find the exact answer like the previous example. Here we have 24 plus 28 equal 52. And then 52 for the first 2 weeks plus 52 for the second 2 week or the next 2 week, we get 104. This is the exact answer, right? So if we round this number to the nearest hundred, we will get 100. It's very close to the estimated sum. So our answer makes sense, right? Let's see this example also. Determine a reasonable answer for each problem. A bank account has 3,701 in it on Monday. Okay, this is for Monday. And on Tuesday, 4,294 is added to the account. Okay, is it reasonable to say that now there is about 7,000 in the account? Explain. Again, we should understand the question and we should know what's the information we have. Okay, to understand the question, we have two important information. The first one is a bank account has 3,701 in it on Monday, okay? And on Tuesday, it has 4,294, okay? And we know that they estimate the sum as 7,000. these information that we know. And the question is what now? We should know if this estimation is reasonable or not, okay? If 7,000 is correct or reasonable estimation or not, okay? This is the question. And we have now to plan. How can we plan to solve? Since the question is about reasonableness, also we have to estimate the sum, okay? So we should round this addend and round this addend to the greatest base value, which is 1,000, right? Here, not 100. We should round this number to the nearest 1,000, okay? So we will round this addend and we will find the sum and will we compare our answer with this number, okay? Let's see how. So we have to add these numbers, estimate the sum of these numbers. So we will get 4,000 and 4,000 for the second addend, and the sum is 8,000. So if we compare this number with this number, they are not the same. So this estimate is not reasonable, okay? It should be 8,000, not 7,000, okay? So this is the idea of the lesson, and you can solve the last problems by yourself, and you can check your answer here for this problem, okay? The same for these problems, you can solve them to practice yourself and check your answer here. Thanks for watching grade 3. Goodbye.